Welcome to Inside Business. I'm Chris Farco of the Calgary Herald.
And I'm Deborah Edlin of the Calgary Herald.
Deb, let's talk a little bit about what's going on in the world of business in Alberta, and we can't leave the conversation or begin the conversation unless we talk about market access issues. Last week we saw the BC Premier John Horgan make his court reference case to the BC Court of Appeal. What is he trying to achieve?
He's trying to restrict the flow of bitumen barrels through BC. These are incremental barrels, and really what he's trying to do is delay the inevitable in terms of the Trans Mountain project going ahead. We know that at the end of the day, the federal government has jurisdiction over this project, and what we really are waiting to see is how the federal government is going to assert its jurisdiction and move ahead to make sure that this project is going to be built, and that we do see the ability of energy producers to realize world prices for what they produce. So Chris, from your perspective, now that we've got this reference case filed, what are you looking to see happen in the next little while?
Well, the clock is ticking right now on whether Kinder Morgan is going to continue with the project or not. They've given the federal and provincial government of Alberta until May 31st to find a solution. Somehow they've got to find a way to de-risk this project, and the federal government has to find a way to make sure that the ball gets across the finish line. So that, I think, is really where everyone is focused on. Let's talk about some other things that are going on that aren't market access related issues, and that is annual meeting season. Yeah. Although they are talking about pipelines. You covered Cenovus. What happened this week?
So Cenovus was really interesting because Cenovus talked about how they were hit by the differential, how they actually chose to do a physical hedge by producing the barrels that they had, but leaving them in the reservoir and waiting for the price to recover. And so that's what they did. And they started producing those barrels and selling them in March. But those were, they weren't going anywhere for a while. And then, of course, the CEO of Cenovus is a former executive at TransCanada, right, Alex Pourbaix, and he talked a lot about market access and how important it is, and how important it is. This is a very critical time for Canada, because we really need to get this project built. So he was very emphatic, and of course he speaks from a position of knowledge. But you were also at annual meetings last week. What else did you see? Well,
both Husky and as well Imperial Oil talked about market access issues as well. And I guess that really gets to the point, which is you can't escape this issue. Husky said that they went out in the marketplace and actually bought 5,000 barrels of production and didn't produce 5,000 of their own barrels, which they then sent to their refineries down into the U.S. We saw Imperial say that they could have produced 12,000 barrels at their Curl Oil Sands facility, but just simply couldn't get it out into the market. So, as I say, it doesn't seem to matter where you go, this issue lurks around the corner. This also happens at the time that we're seeing oil prices rallying up around $68 a barrel, and the differential is falling. But that's probably not the big issue that we're going to see at this week's annual meetings. You're going to be covering Crescent Point. What should we be watching for there? Well,
we've got a proxy fight going on at Crescent Point. There is a firm that's trying to put 4 new board members and displace 4 off that board, and it's going to be a bit of a bun fight because there are some very unhappy shareholders. They're not happy with the way the company has performed in terms of its share price and the way management's moving ahead. And it's going to be a very interesting meeting. And Chris, you're going to go see?
We're going to see Suncor as well as CNRL. I don't expect the same kind of drama, but these are 2 big oil sands producers.
But the other thing we have to mention is that Canadian Natural Resources, who you will see, is the largest natural gas producer in Canada. And it'll be very interesting to see what they have to say about the state of natural gas prices and what they plan to do going forward in terms of protecting their bottom line.
All right, stay tuned.
Thanks very much.
Thanks.